I still don't remember how I got there. 1 second I was inside the flat, and the next thing I was waking up on the ground surrounded by trees. At first I couldn't even work out where I was. Then Drax suddenly stopped and looked directly up at me. A few seconds later, both of them suddenly took off running through the cemetery. And for some reason I kept feeling like something was behind me. The blue ribbon, the exact same tree from before. And when I turned around, the dogs had brought me back to the same gravestone. That's when I realized this wasn't random anymore. The same places kept repeating. The same paths. The same graves. I remember walking over to them near the tree and clipping their leads back on. And the strange thing was, the boys didn't seem nervous anymore. They moved around the cemetery like they already knew it. Like they'd been there before. Everything almost felt normal for a minute. Then while we were leaving, both dogs suddenly stopped again. They were staring off into the distance at something I couldn't see. Drax eventually came back over to me. But Odin wouldn't move, even when I tugged on the lead slightly. Eventually both of them suddenly started pulling forward again, like they'd locked onto something. I remember following them while they dragged against the leads. That's when I knew we had to leave. The walk back home felt wrong. No people. No traffic. Nothing. Then when we got to the stairs, Odin stopped again. He turned and looked directly at me and barked, and ran straight to the front door. By that point I already knew I was going to check the spy hole again. Nothing was there. Then I checked the cupboard. I don't even know why anymore. I think part of me expected something to finally be standing there. Then everything went black again. The next thing I remember, I was waking up back on the sofa. I looked over at the dogs trying to ground myself back in the room. That's when something started shaking the front door. And I remember just sitting there staring toward the hallway, too scared to even move.